Hey, 8th grade. Going to do a little bit of Act 4 introduction for you. And I want to read through the chorus, which I normally do, point out some things that I want you to highlight. And then I'm going to tell you what's going to happen in Act 4, Scene 1. And I want you to read through it. I'm going to read through a specific speech. I'm going to have Mr. Bradley just stop this after, when I give him the cue. And then I want you to read up through that point. And then I want to focus on this one speech that, that Henry gives and kind of give you some explanation of why this would be such a big deal to them. Act 4 is really the hours preceding Agincourt. Intense, you could imagine. Big battle, and the English troops are simply not at their best. And so really there's some tension. And so people are feeling very, very uneasy. Then the scene 2, I believe, is back with the French getting ready to charge, and then we have they send Montjoy to ask once again for Henry's ransom, and he won't do it. And it's just kind of kicking them when they're down, that sort of thing. And so and then Act 3 is his famous speech, the St. Crispin's speech. Now we won't get there. You'll only get to, I imagine, you'll only get through the end of Act 4, Scene 1. But, and that's good. That's fine. We're not going to read every scene in Act 4. A lot of it skips around because it's battle scenes, and some of it, even for the Shakespeare, lover that I am, there's still parts of it is just, that's just too much to go into. Okay, so anyway, I lost my page. There it is. So I want to start with the chorus. Now I have a different book. Start on Act 4 with the chorus, please. And I'm reading the chorus and trying to hold this so that my hair doesn't look so bad, but nothing's working for me. Anyway, now entertain conjecture of a time when creeping murmur and the pouring dark fills the wide vessel of the universe. Now, beautiful imagery, but it's more than that. Why does the chorus have to tell us that it's nighttime, that it's dark, that the whole universe is filled up with darkness? Now remember, this play begins in the middle, around noon, okay? And so the sun's shining bright, so once again our set has to come through the dialogue, okay, through the exposition there. So there's more to it than just beautiful imagery. From camp to camp, through the foul womb of night, the hum of either army stilly sounds that the fixed sentinels almost receive the secret whispers of each other's watch. Okay, there's quiet, but let me restate this. Is anybody sleeping in either camp? No. No, there's whispering. Everybody's awake. Okay, So now we're going to get a look at each camp, what's going on in each camp. Fire answers fire, and through their paly flames, each battle sees the other's umbered face. Steed threatens steed in high and boastful neighs, piercing the knight's dull ear, and from the tents the armorers, accomplishing the knights with busy hammers, closing rivets up, give dreadful note of preparation. Okay, so where the armorers are busy getting the armor all prepared, okay, for the next day. The country cocks do crow, the clocks do toll, and the third hour of drowsy morning name. Proud of their numbers, and secure in soul, the confident and overlusty French do the low-rated English play at dice, and chide the cripple tardy-gated knight, who, like a foul and ugly witch, doth limp so tediously away. That's a great image. Highlight that. Start with the crippled, and chide the crippled tardy-gated knight, who like a foul and ugly witch doth limp so tediously away. Okay? The tone of this chorus, obviously, there's tension, there's anxiety, but you know there's both a good anxiety and a negative anxiety. And so the French, they're feeling confident and they're ready to go. They have 30,000 people. They're on their home turf. And they're the French. They're just going to smear these little Englishmen, all right, who are all sick, and they outnumber them almost 5 to 1. Well, they are anxious in a who we can't wait sort of way. And so when they say they chide, that means they scold, they badmouth the knight. It's like, why are you taking so long to get here? It's like when you're looking forward to going on a trip. The night before the trip, you could hardly sleep. You can't wait for the hour to come, you know, when you get to go to on your trip or whatever, Disney World, whatever. That's exactly what's going on here. They cannot wait. And so Shakespeare compares the knight to a crippled, tardy-gated. This spelling of gait means walk. A slow-walking old witch, foul and ugly witch, all right, that limps tediously. That's how slow-moving the knight is, okay, because they are so anticipating the next day. Now we get the other side of anxiety, the other feeling of anxiety. The poor condemned English, like sacrifices, highlight that, by their watchful fires sit patiently and inly ruminate the morning's dangers. Inly ruminate means to think deeply, okay, about the morning's dangers. And their gestures sad, investing lank lean cheeks and war-worn coats, presenteth them unto the gazing moon so many horrid ghosts. All right. They look, because they're hungry, their clothes are worn, and they're just kind of sickly. They look like ghosts. In the moonlight, they don't look like soldiers at all, okay? And then add to that their disposition, you know. Oh, now, who will behold the royal captain of this ruined band, walking from watch to watch, from tent to tent? Let him cry, praise and glory on his head. For forth he goes, and visits all his hosts, bids them good morrow with a modest smile, and calls them brothers, friends, and countrymen. Okay, let's go back. Who's this royal captain we're talking about? Well, of course, it's Henry V. What is he doing? Is he in bed getting a good night's sleep before he goes into battle? Absolutely not. He's like everybody else, staying awake. And what is he doing according to the chorus? And this is true to history. He went through the camp and talked to the men. Okay. Really, and we'll get to it a little bit in Act 1. You'll see in Act 1, he actually went incognito. A little bit of a disguise. I figured, the men wouldn't tell him their truest fears if they knew it was the king. They'd talk all big, and brave, but they wouldn't tell him their truest fears, and that's what he wanted to kind of assuage, try to speak to their fear and calm their deepest fears. Okay, and so he goes around. Upon his royal face there is no note how dread an army hath enrounded him, nor doth he dedicate one jot of color unto the weary and all-watched night, but freshly looks and overbears a taint with cheerful semblance and sweet majesty, that every wretch, pining and pale before, beholding him, plucks comfort from his looks. So he's wearing a guise of bravery, even though he knows, as well as the next guy, that this is going to be rough. Okay, that this might be their last night on earth. Okay, that he doesn't give any sort of indication in his appearance that he doubts that they will win. A largest universal, like the sun, his liberal eye doth give to everyone, thawing cold fear, that mean and gentle all behold, as may unworthiness define a little touch of Harry in the night. And so our scene must to the battle fly, where, oh, for pity, we shall much disgrace with 4 or 5 most vile and ragged foils, those are weapons, right ill disposed in brawl ridiculous. Turn my page here. The name of Agincourt. Yet sit and see, minding true things by what their mockeries be. Okay, saying, this is such a great battle, and we just can't portray it on the stage. It's just not possible. We only have, we have a few people, we'll show a few people fighting. Just understand and use your imagination to realize just how great this truly was. Okay? My time is almost up here, but I'm going to have Mr. Bradley go ahead and assign parts, and I'm going to have you read up to when Henry starts talking to Alexander Court, a John Bates, and a Michael Williams, 3 soldiers. That's a conversation. The other conversations are just, with pistol, and it's just to, just to get a feel of how everybody's reacting and stuff like that. But this conversation really takes up the whole act, so I want to talk a little bit more about that. I'm going to have to do that in part 2, and then I'll also explain your last project. So anyway, I'll see you in part 2.